Welcome to the New Rugged Order podcast, exclusively on the Hard Knock Digital Culture channel. Now give it up to your host people, MM2K.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the New Rugged Order. Now, many of you may be saying to yourself, MM2K, let me just turn this music down just a little bit, because I was listening to last episode. I was like, damn, that's kind of loud. Let me turn my voice up a little bit. Turn the music down just a tad. Okay, there we go. All right. So I was sitting there saying to myself, I truly don't think that people understand the importance of hardcore games. Now, granted, I don't want to confess all my sins here tonight, all my transgressions here for all you mainstream gamers. But yes, for the last 2 years, maybe closer to three, I've been heavily promoting and tap dancing for Stadia. And I really did enjoy the service. No, all joking aside, I really did enjoy the service. It did a lot for me. And it helped open my eyes into some of the things that I felt like would benefit me. You know what I mean? As far as gaming is concerned. But one thing that I did miss was the regular access to games like you see on the screen. Games like God of War. Because Stadia, in its latter time in existence, those games were few and far between. Had everything to do with contracts and getting access to games because it's a 1% business, all this other stuff. But it never fell away from me, the importance of that to the mainstream gamer. So could I recommend it as much as I liked it to everybody? No, I couldn't. But again, to a cloud gamer who doesn't have access to buy these type of things or play these type of games regularly, it doesn't matter. And that's fine. That's understandable with them. But if you're a hardcore gamer who likes to play a lot of shit, and you want to see gaming in totality push what we experience to transformative levels never thought of, the vehicle that pushes that the most undoubtedly is hardcore games, AAA games. I'm not saying that's all we need is AAA games. But what I'm saying is the transformative figure that pushes gaming forward is AAA games. Don't get me wrong. There are opportunities for AA games or single A games to do some cool stuff. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Do some cool things, some things that you ain't never seen, and do some cool, innovative things and give you some fun experiences. But we're talking about taking AAA games, taking video games and pushing them to a place that just drops your jaws. Whenever somebody wants to do that with the game, they don't use a game that's cartoon shaded with stick figures, right? The charming aspects of gameplay that are with a lot of these stellar AA games and indie games, they don't use that to push you into the future. They use the ambiance of hardcore games. So yeah, even though a cloud gaming platform may at times be riddled with a lot of cool, neat AA games, I expect that of them because that's all they can access. Doesn't mean that the catalog is horrible or it can't be enjoyed. But granted, it's all they can access. But when I see a mainstream gaming platform go a whole year without providing me any unique hardcore experience, that's a problem. That's a problem. The foundation of this channel was built upon the hopes that Microsoft, who was in a very difficult situation with Xbox, would try to find a way to get Xbox back in the black and out of the red, but while doing so, not foregoing its hardcore AAA roots. And by all intents and purposes, it appears that what Xbox has decided to do is they said, as far as us forging new experiences, we're not going to worry about that. What we are going to do is for your AAA experiences, we're gonna gobble up a lot of the stuff that you're already familiar with, or names that you already like. We're gonna put those names and those experiences that you're the familiarity of it. We're gonna put it all in this thing called Game Pass. But the biggest thing about Game Pass is that it's gonna give you discounts and budget gaming. And now in 2022, on the cusp of going into 2023, with all the journalists who have been belly aching and crying, PlayStation needs a Game Pass. They gotta do it. All that belly aching and crying, PlayStation continued to do its thing. And as you're going to see when we go over NPDs, PlayStation dominates in NPDs. They're dominating in hardware, even though Xbox hardware gives you access to the greatest deals in gaming, right? They are obliterating the competition, and not only units sold, but money made. And they're doing that without having to forego hundreds of millions of dollars into a budget coupon service in hopes that there'll be 60 to 80 million of you sign up. Only for those dreams to be shattered and look like they're on the cusp of failure, and them come out like this was the plan all along. Game Pass was only supposed to be 15% of our revenue. Yeah. The number one problem with pundits and a lot of you fanboys is that you don't follow psychology. I used to suffer from that too. Good friend of mine, Porter Rock. Y'all should know him. He's a PlayStation fanboy, pride and true. When I entered to this game of video game commentary, I came in as a serious Xbox fanboy, one that you could never believe. I wasn't the worst of the worst. I would buy PlayStation consoles, but I thought that PlayStation games were highly overrated. I thought that they were nothing but interactive movies. I thought PlayStation was destroying the fabric of hardcore gaming because they captured all these wet behind the ear gamers and these millennials that are focused on all of the wrong things in gaming. And, you know, the 360 era had changed that temporarily, but because of their failures with the Xbox One era, we were slipping back into this mucky abyss. That was my thoughts. So when I came into this game, commentating on video games, I was so critical of PlayStation, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think rightfully so, for this stuff that they were putting out then. I don't like Uncharted 4. I don't like it. That is a cinematic movie. I didn't like Horizon Zero Dawn. That was an empty shell of an RPG game to me that really didn't utilize gameplay elements and tropes and not tropes, but gameplay elements and activities and leveling up and stuff like that really make an RPG feel like an RPG. From level, I leveled when I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was playing on hard, mind you, the second to hardest level. I always start off a game with the second to hardest level. When I was playing that game, after level 1, when I was changing my suits, I didn't have to change my gear again until I was at level 14. I just couldn't take any more of the game. I just let it go. I couldn't play that game. Now again, I haven't tried Forbidden West, whatever, but something happened. Something happened with PlayStation and Xbox. I think it was DICE 2018. A few months after the Xbox One X was released. Phil Spencer got on the DICE stage, got on the stage at DICE, and said, PlayStation makes great games, and we want to make games like PlayStation one day. I've never heard anything like that in my life competitively. They walked up on stage and licked the crevice of PlayStation for what? And I said to myself, I didn't spend $500 on this new console for you to attempt to be PlayStation except with a green and black logo. I want you to be Xbox. I want the Jade Empires. I want the BioShocks, the Mass Effects. I want the brainchild that collaborated with the developers that know how to make games. I want that brainchild and that invigorated spirit from the exec level to go and sit and make sure that these great games are developed. And that didn't happen. They forfeited right then and there and said, we just can't make games as good as you. And I almost lost my lunch when they did that. I couldn't believe it. And I think PlayStation then said to themselves, well, shit, if we ain't gonna get any more good Gears or good Halos or anything like that from these motherfuckers anymore, let's crank it up. Let's go beyond the interactive cinematic movie and let's actually fucking make a game that has stellar gameplay too. Then came God of War. God of War changed everything. Everything since God of War that I've gotten my hands on that was developed in-house by PlayStation as far as AAA gaming is concerned. I'm not talking about the remakes. I'm talking about the new shit. God of War, Last of Us 2, so forth. They all have this balance of great cinematic storytelling, which means something in the game, which can create an atmosphere in the game that can help you memorize what's going on even more than you ever would. But then they added this gameplay to it that is consistently cool and one that doesn't get boring. So that started to happen. And then Xbox's gameplay started to falter. I didn't think Gears 5 was bad. I didn't think Gears 4 was bad. There just wasn't. It was when I turned it off, besides the new fresh smell and having Gears, I didn't wake up saying, oh shit, I can't wait to get in some Gears. I didn't. Now granted, I'm not a multiplayer gamer, I'm a single player gamer, but they're both relevant. Both parts are relevant. I didn't wake up and I didn't say, shit, I want to play Gears. I just didn't do it. And that's because it was just mediocre. It was enough to be entertaining to a degree, but it wasn't mind-blowing. And I just didn't recognize that Xbox because I'm used to them presenting something mind-blowing. And they hadn't. So now we're in 2022. There's been all this talk about, oh, I can't wait till we show you what we got next year and this year. And the end result of that is you have two console gamers. Or three. You have one that went all out and bought an Xbox Series X. And I'm talking about console as far as hardcore gaming is concerned. You got an Xbox Series X because you wanted to have the world's most powerful console. Okay, cool, gotcha. Not a problem. Not a problem. And it's not 1v1. It's not. It's too close in comparison to me paying the extra $100 that I didn't have to pay if I went with the digital edition PlayStation. I paid this extra $100, but yet, okay, on Monday, this game is better, but on Tuesday, when this game comes out, it's better here. And on Wednesday, this game is better. It didn't justify the performance. I don't think is even justified. And then secondly, it's about the games, because even if every game on the Xbox was better, Would it be marginally better? Would you really notice the difference? Would it be that big of a difference? People were like, no, but they got to get used to the tools. MM2K, they got to get used to the tool. We already been here. We've been here a couple times. They got to get used to the tools. We were here with the Xbox One X. Well, they got to put in time and develop it more. And they weren't going to do it because the Xbox wasn't even a competing platform. So why would they go ahead and spite or spit on the hand that's feeding them, PlayStation, and make a game look better on the Xbox One X? I mean, moralistically, you would think they would. But they didn't. They weren't going to do it. So then you run into a situation where they didn't do it with the Xbox One X. It really didn't. The power difference didn't really come to fruition until Red Dead came out. Then you really saw what was capable. But even before then, we were here. We were here with PlayStation. Remember when PlayStation came out with the PlayStation 3 and the cell technology? And everybody was like, oh, they got to get used to it. They didn't get used to it until the last year or two of the generation. We've already been here. I think we just got to come to grips, especially now that there's rumors that mid-gen refreshes are coming. Dear Lord. I think we got to come to grips with the fact that these platforms, though slower than usual in putting out groundbreaking content, as of 2022, it's not even close. Now again, Xbox has Starfield coming out next year and these other titles coming out next year, and that's great. But you can't kick the can down the road any further. Like 2023 has to produce a groundbreaking title for Xbox. It has to. Like I don't even think, I've said this before, I don't even think that Xbox can settle for a game under 88. Some people may say higher. They got to have a game in the 9s. A AAA banger in the 9s. Not this shit that came out today. It's a open book story game called Pyramid. Well, what I don't know, but by Obsidian. We're tired of Obsidian's passion projects. Like the fucking what was it? The bug game. We're tired of that. No, that's not. You can't compete with PlayStation with these snap crackle pop games. You can't do it. And I was sadly, I couldn't even stomach up to 15 minutes of it, but I was listening to a Spaces where a bunch of Xbox gamers, and man, you knew Xbox game, like Jesus fucking Christ. Like at least when we were battling, like we were pulling hardcore examples. We were not trying to excuse Zoo Tycoon and Phantom Rush or whatever the hell that Phantom Dust with the original assets as hardcore games. We weren't trying to prop up Super Lucky Tales. When people brought them up, we would brush them off and say, "Oh, you guys keep bringing up the same old shit. What about this and what about that?" But you guys are actually sitting down here trying to compare Pyramid. You're trying to compare Pyramid. What the fuck is the name of this game? Oh my God, I couldn't believe this shit. I'm typing it up now. Pentiment. I'm not even going to show this game on my channel. I refuse. I would lose my hardcore gaming stripes right then and there if I did. Not even showing this fucking game on my channel. It's a fucking storybook folding game. And there's a bunch of people that are charmed by this game and are giving it 10s. Great. It'd be a great game on the cloud gaming service. And it is probably available via Xbox Cloud. I'm not playing. I didn't buy a $500 fucking system to play a fucking open book fold 'em up game. Look, what are we doing here? So, with that said, and the reason why I'm targeting this game is because these motherfuckers are out here actually in this spaces comparing this fucking Fisher Price fold 'em up game to God of War. And they're trying to attack God of War because of the aid that it gives you during the game, which I bet you can turn that shit off. But they're trying to put Pitamont or Peppermint. They're trying to put Peppermint on the same level as God of War. I bullshit you not. What is guest star? I don't even know what that. I'm looking at my options here. So it's fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. That was just my intro. 30 minutes of me talking shit on Xbox. I have to do that because we're about to do this. Let me show you something. It's the Game Awards. They've officially announced their nominations for 2022 Game Awards. And there's a particular tweet from here that I want to show you guys, if I can find it. Because they summarize all the... Nah, it's probably not going to be here. I'm going to have to go to Jeff Keighley. Let's do this. Let's type in his name. Gian. There he goes. Here goes Jeff. All right. There's a slide that Jeff has. Okay, here we go. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Here, I'm gonna make it. It says, here are the most nominated publishers this year for the Game Awards. Look at this shit. And I don't want to hear shit because Phil Spencer is on this board that nominates these games. When did these consoles come out? Let me type this in. I think 2019. When did the Xbox Series X come out? I think it was 2019. Oh no, 2020. Okay. So this is year 2 of these consoles being out. They don't have a stranglehold of performance like the PlayStation 4 did. Remember, the PlayStation 4 didn't have any games. those first few years. They had fucking Octopad, the Octodad. You know, they had some bullshit games, but they were the clear front runners when it came to performance. I would say their front runner status was a little bit over exaggerated, but hey, they flaunted it and they worked it. And then when did Uncharted 4 come out? When did Uncharted 4 release? Uncharted 4 came out, so 3 years. So you could have a scenario similar to that with Xbox. No, this isn't beer. Even though I want to get drunk just looking at this silly shit. Yeah. So you could have a scenario similar to that, because in 2023, which will be year 3 for Xbox, Starfield could be their Uncharted 4. But it's dire for Xbox to it's more dire for Xbox to one or two things have to happen. One or two things have to happen. If both happens, then yeah. Then you got a battle. This is not a battle. But Xbox either has to have a stellar game come out in 2023, and they gotta have a stellar year in 2024. Period. Like, no more excuses. Like, Fable should be out by then, and some of that, and then fucking Obsidian's game should be out by then. Like, there should be no more excuses. And then there should be like State of Decay 3 and shit should be, you know what I mean? I don't put much hopes into Redfall, but I do believe, you know, I don't know what else is slotted for 2023. I don't put much hopes into Redfall, but I do tell you that I you know, Starfield, all the, you know, everything's on Starfield's lap. Okay, and then there's what's that game? Hell. Oh shit. Senua's Sacrifice, was it Hellblade 2? Yeah, that could be one. Or that could just be a looker. Who knows? We're not hearing anything from that game. Then there's supposed to be the Perfect Dark game. We're not hearing shit from any of these games. I mean, it's just not looking great. Now, here's what I will tell you. If they have a breakout year, or if they have at least a breakout game in 2023, and the Activision Blizzard deal goes through, then yeah, you got a battle on. Now, then you'll have a battle on your hands. But man, if that Activision Blizzard deal does not go through, and when I say battle, I don't mean battle for content. Just because you get Call of Duty doesn't mean you have great content, but you got fucking Blizzard. You'll have that exclusive, and then you'll exclusively have Diablo, which that is serious. And that brings you back into, like, you know, Blizzard it brings you back into the hardcore game realm. And so does, you know, Bethesda in a lot of ways, even though they've fallen off the mark in recent years. But if that Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through, you have to have a transformative game come out in 2023, and 2024 has to be kick-ass. If that doesn't happen, then because now Game Pass, and Game Pass is out. I mean, if the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't fall through, then Game Pass is a non-factor. It's a non-factor because the only game that would pull people to Game Pass potentially is Starfield. And the only game to pull the mainstream gamers that you need is Starfield. You're going to need Call of Duty in there because that's of the big trio that people always play. That's how you go beyond that 15%. And that's how you get a good return on your investment finally, by bringing those gamers in. But it's not looking good so far. Now, granted, it took PlayStation 3 years, last gen, to get it together as far as their output. 3 years is next year for you guys. PlayStation had performance overwhelmingly on their side. And when I say overwhelmingly, I don't mean that the performance was that much granular. I just mean when you go game to game to game to game, they perform better on the PlayStation. Like, the winner, the hand that was raised was the PlayStation, even if it was marginal. You're not getting that here. There's, it could be one or the other here. All right. So with that to be said, look at this. Sony Interactive has 20 games nominated. Now, I know what people are going to say. This is Jeff Keighley. Sucks PlayStation ass. We got a shitty PlayStation mouth. I don't doubt some of that. But what are they going to put in for PlayStation? I mean, for Xbox. Like, I saw this game Immortal, right? And I was like, oh shit, that just sounds badass. I'm like, I never heard of this game. I went and looked it up. It's literally an interactive movie. So now we done switch roles, where Xbox is giving you the interactive movies and PlayStation is coming out with the badass game. Like, what is going on here? Sony Interactive, 20 games nominated. Annapurna, 11. Nintendo, 11. Bandai Namco, 8. Riot, 6. EA, 5. Focus, 5. Finji, 4. Square Enix, 4. WB Games, 4. We have 26 fucking studios, or 79, whatever the fuck you get. You don't have one. How is that even possible? And to put games out here this year, you got people working on these passion projects. You paid all this money for these fucking studios. I don't know. Let's go into let's look at this, and let's go into the games that have been nominated. It says, laugh out loud, Microsoft, laugh out loud, we forgot to make games. Oh shit, hold on. This is on his page. Did he put, oh no. These are just the replies. I thought this was something that he liked. All right, so here goes your 6 nominees for Game of the Year. I'm not gonna go over everything. The best quality sound in the toilet. I'm not going over that shit. But your 6 nominees for Game of the Year is A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Now, granted, I'm looking at Stray, and I haven't played it. But there's always got to be some bubbly game up there, right? Some bubbly indie game. And I guess Stray foots the bill. I don't know. But Cult of Lamb. I keep hearing about Cult of Lamb, and I'm very surprised That's not up there. And you had to put fucking Stray up there, but whatever. Plague Tale's never been my type of game. Elden Ring, neither is my type of game. I mean, so for me, these are hardcore games, but I'm not excited over them, except for God of War and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But I'm not buying the Switch. I'm not buying the Switch. I would love to play that game, but I'm not buying the Switch. Say what you want about me. I'm not buying the Switch. Fuck that. Horizon Forbidden West. I'd be half tempted to try that, but I'm telling y'all, the first game turned me off so bad. I don't know. Could be better. This was actually the graphic that I was looking for earlier. And then there's another nomination for something else, some other shit. I don't know. Which is pretty much the same thing. But I think, so God of War doesn't run away with this thing. And again, people will be like, well, that makes it sound like it's fixed, MM2K. I think there's some certain persuasions that happen in the voting process or the selection process. I think Plague Tale's going to get a couple of things, not Game of the Year. It's going to go to God of War. Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West might get like best sound or best art direction or some shit. But Sony's going to walk away with this thing. And there's literally nothing from Xbox up here. Like, shit. I don't know. So, you're going to hear the fanboys cry. I mean, Tunic, which was a timed exclusive for Xbox. And I think Xbox probably made some investments in helping that game come to fruition. But golly, man. I mean, the signs are there that 2023 are going to be better, but fuck. I hope so. They have to be. We'll see. All right. So those are my thoughts on the Game Awards. Meh. Watch it. We'll watch it to see God of War and Sony clean house. You know what I mean? All right. Next on the docket is speaking of God of War. There's this thing that people are complaining about. And I wonder if I saved it on my I probably did save it. Let me see. I'm gonna check my bookmarks. People are complaining about God of War having this thing where it is trying to tell you what to do. Doesn't hardly give you any time to figure it out. But it just keeps telling you, what it is that it wants you to do whenever a puzzle comes up. And I think they've done that because they probably were looking at data and looking at the fact that maybe a bunch of people didn't finish the puzzles or enjoy them. So I think based upon that, they may have by default allowed the game, like as soon as you try to do a puzzle, try to do this and try to do that. I did hear this and it does sound annoying, but let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Second. All right, here we go. Okay, if it lets me. All right, so there's this guy. Put this up here. I'm gonna turn the music off. Let's turn the music off. Let's pause this. Let's get this over here. And there's this guy. His name is Peter Ovo. I guess he's a streamer. Here, let's do this. Let me show you something. He says, this is a AAA M-rated game that scored 10 out of 10s. This game is for adults above 18. Let that sink in. So he's setting up this premise of, you know, this is supposed to be a game for adults and people that can think independently. Like, why is this so much hand-holding happening when you get to these puzzles? All right, do I have the volume up? Let me put the desktop volume up, and then we're going to play what he has to say. So let's do it.
Soy, I guess. Bakery brother. Thanks for sub, brother. Brother.
You can probably use those islands to get a better angle on the torch, no?
Bro, can you... Oh my god. Like, can I experiment a bit? Hello?
Use your blades to swing the torch. To the other side. Let's cross the bridge now.
Okay. So you guys saw it. Annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking annoying. All right. Like, are you stupid or what? But that's one thing that I think a lot of people played God of War. Let me back up a little bit. No. I'm gonna tell this fucking story. All right, so I've been gaming for 35 plus years. And I love challenges. Like if you guys watch any of my streams, shameless plug, watch them here. Go to at MM2K Gaming on YouTube and watch my game streams there. I love a challenge. And what I've done is recently some of my more challenging scenarios, I've made shorts out of them. I put them out there. They're doing very well. They're doing better than our fucking normal videos. That's for sure. But we put them out there for you guys to opine. You guys enjoy them. I get a lot of feedback. Like, oh shit, what game is this? And what part were you playing? And is it bots and all this? I get all this shit. Cause I love a challenge. Now I slept on God of War. The first one. Slept on it tremendously. Didn't think it was gonna be a challenge. This was in my ultra hate PlayStation, love Xbox days. And I had made this bet where I said, I'm going to rent a PlayStation from somewhere. I didn't have a PlayStation in the house. I said, this is how cheesy and crappy PlayStation games are. I said, I'm going to rent this PlayStation for about a week and beat God of War in a week. Maybe 4 days and go about my business. It's like, this is how crappy this game is going to be. And I said, I'm going to put it on the second to hardest setting and go, and not because that was my experience with PlayStation games. Like, I wouldn't have the game in my house. I mean, I wouldn't have the console in my house This is what I experienced all through the PlayStation 3 and through all the way up until, I want to say Horizon Zero Dawn, until I just fucking gave up on the game. I wouldn't have a PlayStation in my house. But a game would come out that would get all these accolades and all this buzz. So I'd go buy one. I'd have a PlayStation in my house. I would go buy it for Uncharted, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. What's those games? The open world games, the Sons of Liberty or whatever, the infamous games, the Resurrect or whatever with the aliens, the Call of Duty meets aliens shit that every game, Killzone, every game that they've had. You're hearing all these accolades about these games, and I'd buy the shit and beat it in like 3 days. And so here I spent $500 on a PlayStation, beat the game in 5 days, and the thing would just sit there and collect dust. That's what it literally did. Now, it was a cool media server, but that was until PlayStation killed them the media server portion on it. And I was like, I already had a media server, so I didn't need to keep a $600 media server, because what it was is if you kept that IO, whatever the fuck it was, something OS on there, you couldn't play games because there were exploits that were being used via that operating system. So I said, fuck it, I didn't need it. And I just swore, and then I had just played Uncharted. I played Horizon Forbidden West, which I was about to beat that, and I just gave up on that shit. Granted, another day or two, I would have beat it. I was like in day 2, and I was an open world game at that, and I'd have beat that game. It was just disgusting. So anyway, so I just said, I'm going to beat this one in a day or two. Like, there's no point. I'm even buying a system. I'm rent it, and I did it as a big stunt. And I end up keeping God of War, or it ended up taking me 6 months to beat the game, and I had the fucking PlayStation with me all that time. So yeah, they beat me in the head with a cash register at Aaron's, at the rental place, because the rental place that I rented it from, like they charge, by the time you pay it off, you're paying like 2 or 3 times the amount. So for that 6 months that I rented it, I could have bought a PlayStation for a lot cheaper. I was paying like $20 a week. So you do the math. That's $80 a month. 6 times 8, 80 is $240. So I spent $240 for a PlayStation, where that year was the year that they were $190. The PlayStation Slim, they were $199. I was totally blown away by how good God of War was, that I literally went and bought a PlayStation 4 Pro for Uncharted. And was blown away with Uncharted. I didn't finish that one. I mean, not Uncharted, fucking Last of Us 2. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of experience with PlayStation games within the last few years. They will hold your hand depending upon the level that you're on. So I'm pretty sure there's something in the settings. We're going to find out today, because we're going to be playing God of War for the first time today. God of War Ragnarok, that is, for the first time. We're going to find out today here on Twitch if there is a setting in there. And if there is, everybody's getting clown. Everybody's getting clown. Literally. Everybody's getting clown. Doesn't make any sense. But I'm pretty sure there's either an option to shut that shit off, or the harder the level you go to, the less you see that. But what it was is that a lot of people want to play it for the action, or they just want to play it to go through it. And if you motherfuckers are playing it on normal, everybody should know you're not a hardcore gamer if you don't realize that God of War or any PlayStation game on normal is easy. That's easy mode. And easy is actually, I'm just, holding on the thumbstick and watching the story happen. Everybody should know that by now. All right. Last part that I want to talk about is the NPDs. And the NPDs were brought to us by our good friend, Matt Piscatella. Ow! Let me show you something. Ow! I hit the shit out of my knuckle. So, Nebellion Content Creator of the Year. Yeah, that was one that I didn't expect. Because Nebellion just basically gave you news that was public, but he scoured through the news. He was the first to report shit. My brother was just good. He had them webhooks, man. He was dedicated to getting gaming news out there ASAP. He or she. And they just made sure that they were out there with it first, and that was cool. All right, so let's look at Matt Piscatella's October. This is October's activity on the NPD charts. Let's talk about it. So he talks about how spending on the video game content, hardware, and accessories totaled $4.3 billion during the month of October, flat when compared to a year ago. Meaning you don't see much going up, much going down, as far as that's concerned. This is October growth in digital sales and subscriptions for consoles and PC video game content, driven in large part by the release of Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 was offset by declines in mobile content and hardware. Year-to-date spending has fallen 7% to this point in 2021 at $42.7 billion. UPS hardware. This is where it's going to start to get interesting. It says dollar sales of video games hardware fell 10% in October when compared to a year ago to 424 million. Double-digit percentage dollar sales growth for both PlayStation and Xbox Series consoles was offset by declines on other platforms. So it sounds like that there was a sharp decline on Xbox. I mean, not on Xbox, on PC and Nintendo Switch. And this next line helps bring that home. For the hardware, PlayStation 5 was the best-selling video game hardware of October in both unit and dollar sales. So normally they split that with Nintendo, but this time around they led there. And you could, naturally you might see that and you may say, oh, that's because PlayStation's shit and they were kicking ass. I'm inclined to believe that too, but that's not the case, because Xbox ranked second across both measures too. So PlayStation outperformed Nintendo in both units and sales, and so did Xbox. So they didn't split with anybody. Switch is like dead last. This is October video game content sales grew 2% versus year average to 3.7 billion. Double-digit percentage growth in console and PC content spending was driven by the launch of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in October tracking period compared to Call of Duty Vanguard's in November 2021. So that's huge. Spending had to be that bad, because they were like, this Call of Duty like broke records. Spending across the board had to be that bad that despite Call of Duty doing what it did, it went down everywhere. This is also 8 of the top 20 best-selling premium games of October 22nd, 2022 were new releases, including Gotham Knights, which ranked second in October while debuting as the 14th best-selling game of 2022 year to date. So a lot of people got that Gotham Knights with hopes and aspirations. We'll see what it does next month. We'll see what it does in November. We'll see if, despite the reviews, if it does well in November. The PlayStation 5 DualSense wireless controller Midnight Black was the best-selling accessory of October in dollar sales. I also want to go back to Gotham Knights. If Gotham Knights remains on the NPD list for November tallies, I think what that tells you is that you had a lot of PC and last-gen console people playing. I don't think that it got a lot of sales this gen. 30 frames per second. Now, I know there's a lot of gamers that don't care about 30 versus 60. But they're not the gamers that bought new consoles. Maybe Series S people didn't give a shit because they're likely mainstream gamers who atypically wouldn't jump in this early, but they saw like a $300 console and they just said, fuck it. And this is next gen and it gives me access to Game Pass. So you've had some of those, maybe teetering on the borderlines of hardcore gamers, but they don't jump in just yet. They don't jump in early. They were enticed with the Xbox Series S. I can see them kind of buying this game more than not because the performance apparently is equivalent to the PlayStation 5 and the Series X consoles. So I can see some of those, but I would say this is primarily made up of PC gamers who I believe had the 60 frames per second option and console gamers. All right, so let's take a look at the premium games. The top 20 are Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, FIFA 23, Madden 23, NHL 23, Mario Rabbids, Persona 5, NBA 2K23, Bayonetta 3, Elden Ring, Mario Kart Splatoon, Minecraft, Star Ocean: The Divine Force made it up there, Grounded, which is very interesting, Dragon Ball: The Breakers, PGA Tour 2K23, Nier Automata, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Jesus, these Switch games just like stay up here, no matter how old they are. All right, so we're gonna do year-to-date dollar sales. That's from the January up until now, or up until the end of October. Who made the most dollars? Elden Ring, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is amazing for the simple fact that it's only been here for a month. And Elden Ring's been here since, pretty much the beginning of the year. Madden NFL 2023, Pokemon, Horizon 2, which is that I consider that interesting. Even though that Horizon did come out in February, but it's available on PlayStation 5 and 4. So FIFA 23, Call of Duty Vanguard, Gran Turismo, Mario Kart, Minecraft, Gotham Knights, Nintendo Switch Sports, Saints Row. It's very interesting. That's up there. Madden NFL 22, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, FIFA 22, and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. All right. NPD, US NPD premium games, 12-month ending October. So this is a rolling calendar year, meaning since the beginning of October of last year to the end of October of this year. Here's and according to sales. Elden Ring, Call of Duty, Vanguard, Call of Duty. This is fucking crazy. Like this sold gangbusters, and still for there to be a dip, it must have been bad. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. When you factor in games from October of last year, still is second. Like Jesus Christ. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Pokemon Brilliant, Madden 23. Battlefield 2042. That's interesting. Pokemon Legends, Horizon Forbidden West, Madden NFL 22. Interesting. All right. This is Nintendo's top games. Mario Rabbids, Bayonetta 3, Persona 5, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon 3, Nintendo Switch Sports, Smash Brothers, Nier Automata, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. All right. This is PlayStation's top 10 games of October. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, FIFA 23, Madden 23, NHL 23, NBA 2K23, Star Ocean and the Divine Force, PGA Tour 2K23, The Last of Us Part 1, and Elden Ring. Interesting. Let's look at Xbox's top selling games. And it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, Madden 23, FIFA 23, NHL 23, NBA 2K23, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Elden Ring is higher. Forza Horizon 5 is up there. And then Saints Row rounds out their top 10, which is interesting. So Saints Row is doing very well, it seems like, on Xbox systems. All right. And that is it from NPDs. Very interesting. Cold Blood Sensei, my brother, you finally made it in the house. Why is the chat? Hold on. Something's going on here. Because I got something. There we go. Hold on. Cold Blood Sensei says, look at that, Cold Blood. He says, even when Xbox wins, it loses. That's cold, man. He said, "What? Who cares what's sold on Xbox?" Oh man, that's crazy. Well, I care, man. I care now. I think it's interesting because now that we know that Game Pass is at like that 15% threshold, they said as far as revenue, this is going to become important, man. Where their games rank, now again, granted, they haven't had many games up there, but where their games rank in sales, because no longer can the argument be made, oh, Xbox is, they don't, who cares about the sales because Game Pass, everybody's getting in the Game Pass. Apparently everybody's not getting in the Game Pass. It's only making up 15%. If Game Pass is only making up 15%, or if their expectancy is only 15% of the revenue, everybody's not getting it on Game Pass. So now it's going to be more important than ever. Especially if there's no Activision Blizzard deal, which again, we don't know. But if there is no Activision Blizzard deal to help bolster up Game Pass so it becomes something more relevant to the mainstream, then Xbox games have to do better here. They have to. I only see one Xbox game here, which is Forza Horizon. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm shocked to even see that there. Now, granted, there's only one Sony game there. Which surprises me, well, this is top 10, but that still surprises me because what was that? That made it in the top 20. What was this that made it in the top 20? Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So maybe Spider-Man is like 11 or 12 or something like that. It just didn't make the top 10. We'll see. Interesting stuff nonetheless. Cold Blood says, Game Pass is dead in the water. No growth whatsoever. Oh, man. Like, I find it interesting that nobody wants to talk about this. And again, there's nothing to gloat about because this is sad. But there was a lot put on the Game Pass. There was a lot put into Game Pass as far as it revolutionized, being something revolutionary and getting people access to games. And you see two critical things that was supposed to help Xbox get to these 3 billion gamers. Game Pass and xCloud now being stepped back from and just say, oh, well, no, this is just to give people choice. Xbox needs to have Starfield be a transformative game in 2023. I'm gonna be fair. I don't think the whole year has to be kick ass or blow out. Just Starfield has to be that game. I'm not putting much stock into, again, to Redfall. I don't like Arcane except for Deathloop. I think Deathloop is probably the best we're gonna see from them in a while. That being said, all they need is for Starfield to really kick ass. Then after Starfield kicks ass, 2024 should be stacked. Like, what is it? Senua's Sacrifice? What's the name of that game? Hellblade 2 or whatever the hell that name of that game is. Like, between 2023 and 2024, I think we're going to see that. I don't know what the state of this Perfect Dark game is, but we're going to see that. We're going to see what else? I don't know the state of the Fable game either. But we should be seeing Avowed. We should be seeing that. State of Decay 3. Like 2023, I feel, needs to have a stellar game. But 2024 has to be a stellar year. You can't be void of that. Especially if the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through. If the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through, here's everything that we would have witnessed. We would have witnessed, even after the purchase of 25 studios, the attempt to reach 3 billion gamers through xCloud, which they pushed back on once they saw Stadia's performance. And now they're saying, oh no, cloud gaming is only good enough when you're away from your console. When what they were originally going to do, according to Brad Sams, which I believe, is that the reason why they got rid of the S originally was your other option was going to be xCloud. That's how you were going to play your next generation games if you couldn't afford the Series X. You were just going to boot up xCloud on the console that you have now and play it via cloud gaming, because the Xbox One, whether it was the One S or the One X, would have been a competent enough dongle, quote unquote, to play your games over the cloud. Then they stepped away from that. They talked about VR. They told you that VR, and again, I'm not, this is not me trying to nitpick. This is telling you everything that they put heavy flags next to. They then would have told you, they then told you that you can't have a next generation system without VR. They then told you that you were going to get uncompromised performance out of the Xbox Series X, and it was the world's most powerful console. And now it's not horrible, but it's splitting hairs with something that it's not supposed to split hairs with. And they're using the excuse, well, they got to get the development kits. Well, the last few times that we've heard that didn't fare well for the platform that had the development kits had to be getting used to for. Particularly, if we're going to be fair, PlayStation 3. Remember, once the developers get used to the development kits, then the PlayStation 3 is going to soar, and the performance, particularly with multi-platform games, didn't get there till the last year or two. So that's not a winning proposition. Well, that's not something you should hold your breath for. And now, last but not least, the thing that it felt like they were putting all their marbles, and they said, hey, look, PlayStation, you can go ahead and spend 7 years to make these stellar games. We're going to give people good games, good to great games, a bunch of them at a valued price. And that's how we're going to reach our 3 million gamers, because we're going to put people in a situation where we're going to put Game Pass everywhere and it's just going to explode. And now Game Pass, I mean, this can't be talked about enough, but nobody wants to talk about it. But that's because I think my ponies are too busy playing God of War. And of course, my Xbox gamers, they're not gonna bring this up. But this thing that was supposed to revolutionize gaming is now only going to be 15% of your revenue at best. I'm pretty sure that Xbox Live Gold is bigger than 15% of the revenue. Let's look it up. I could be wrong. Let's look it up. How much is Xbox Live Gold part of Xbox revenue? I could be wrong, but last time I checked, Xbox Live Gold was bringing in $2 billion a quarter. And I'm pretty sure that's a lot more. Let's see here. How much does Xbox make from Live? Okay, I got this gaming revenue. Okay, here goes. I think, is this a chart? What year is this from? Oh, this is 2020. Holy. Nah, I don't want nothing from 2020. All right. Not no anytime. Custom range. We want 1/1/2022. Okay, Xbox posts record annual revenue. Let's see what this record annual revenue is. Okay, here goes a chart. Here goes something from our good friend Daniel Lamont. Now let me do this. We're gonna check it out. I could be wrong, live on air, and that's okay. I am not afraid of having the difficult conversations and getting set straight. So the Xbox division, its highest ever annual revenue of $16.28 billion during the calendar year. Let's see if this breaks up. Oh, content services. Okay, so they don't tell you. Total gaming revenue. They don't tell you. Son of a Mitch. Son of a Mitch. They don't tell you. But we know we definitely know that Xbox Live Gold is Xbox's biggest service moneymaker. And Game Pass isn't anywhere close. So, you know, when you look at this chart, hold on 1 second. Let me pull the chart up. When you look at this chart, where it looks like, you know, for instance, this year in 2021, what is that? 12 billion, a little bit over 12 billion was out of contents and services. I'm willing to bet that anywhere from 6 to 8 billion of that is Xbox Live Gold. And maybe Game Pass revenue, again, not profit, revenue. I think I saw somewhere where somebody said it got to $1 billion or something like that, or so that would be like 8 times, you know what I mean? 6 to 8 times, which I believe that's probably a more accurate figure. This was supposed to surpass Live. As a matter of fact, they wanted to be flipped. They wanted Live to probably be 15% and Xbox Game Pass be the larger portion. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that's being reasonable about this. You can't deny that's what they wanted. Hence why the price change that they tried to force last year that had everybody in uproar. They were trying to force you off of gold and put you in Game Pass for only it to be 15% of the revenue. Yeah. Let's go see what my people are saying in the chat. See here. He says, just get a PC if you absolutely hate PlayStation, but don't make the mistake of buying e-waste. Stop it. What the hell? Said Spider-Man will outshine Starfield by every metric imaginable. We'll see. I mean, it is Bethesda. We'll see. It's possible. I would say it's likely. It's likely because it's Spider-Man. But if Bethesda can bring out that Fallout 3 magic or that Skyrim magic, that's what they need. They need Skyrim. They need this to be Skyrim transformative. $4K 30 is a death sentence for Starfield. I heard this rumor, but I heard that they changed it to where there's going to be a performance mode. That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard that they were going to change that. If you have a link, let me know, brother. I heard that there was going to be a performance mode. Like if they do something like an upscaled 1800p 60 frames per second performance mode, then yeah, you got it. Like, yeah, you can't. Here's what you can't do, man. Here's what you can't do. Xbox. And I would have to concede to Cold Blood Sensei, which I'd hate to do. I hate when this son of a Mitch is right and I'm wrong. But I'm gonna do it again. I'd hate to see Starfield be locked at 30. Like, you can't be locked on 30 on the world's most powerful console, your own game. That's just no. That's a no fucking go. That's a no fucking go. You can't even and now, until this Activision Blizzard deal either goes through or falters, you competing with Sony in the trenches is more important than ever, than it is now, than it's ever been. Because your means to surpass them have come to a screeching halt. Number one, Game Pass has now been regulated to at best 15% of their profit. That doesn't fuck with PlayStation. That doesn't fuck with Xbox Live Gold. And it definitely doesn't fuck with PlayStation Plus. So your attempt to revolutionize game subscription services would have fallen flat, because in order for you to do that, you have to show the competition that, hey, we have the best model. If PlayStation still has the best money-making model, it falls flat. Or if you have a different model that still performs better financially, it falls flat. And the only thing that gets it from falling flat is bringing in Activision Blizzard, because then you put Call of Duty in there, and goddamn, that's going to bring a lot of motherfuckers. But that's just part of it. The other part was, again, the thing that you were going to use to get to get Xbox, the Xbox experience in people's hands regardless of where they were at. xCloud. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna spill a little bit of motherfucking tea today, just because I don't give a shit today, and I'm about to play greatness. Y'all gotta give me like half an hour to set it up after the show, and then I'm gonna be playing some greatness. Cold Blood, you're gonna want to stay up for this, because y'all are here listening to me right now. I'm gonna spill this tea with y'all. Rumor has it. Now, again, this isn't 100% true, but or this isn't 100% proven, but rumor has it by some very credible sources that I want to say in about 2 years, Xbox will no longer have the argument between the two over cloud gaming. What do I mean by that? Everybody's talking this shit about, oh, xCloud is so much better and so much more versatile than PlayStation Now, and this, that, in 2 years, they're going to get slaughtered in not only the business model, but definitely the performance. Yeah. And when I say business model, I don't mean that Sony's going to be dropping their shit day and day. It's going to happen eventually, but that's down the road. I think what you may see is, if you're on the cloud, you may get access to it 3 months down the road. You know, but And that's just hypothetical. That's just me throwing shit. But the concrete rumor, if that isn't an oxymoron, is in 2 years' time, not only is Xbox going to lose the business model aspect that they have, but they're also going to lose definitely in performance. A ghost of cloud gaming's past is rumored to be stepping in to make that all possible. That's all I gotta say. You heard it here first. Somebody clip that. And that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to talk too much because I want that. I want that to happen. Not because I want Xbox to get beat up. No, I want to see the only thing that's going to get Xbox to start doing better at the shit that they promise is when PlayStation rubs it in their face. Like they didn't care when Stadia was better because, you know, it was Stadia. They didn't care that performed better. They don't care that GeForce Now was better because GeForce Now was PC associated. They don't care that Amazon performs better because Amazon is taking a good old. They don't care. So you get this sloppy mess that's called xCloud. But when PlayStation gets involved and then they blow Xbox out of the water, not only with the business model, but more definitively the performance and the reliability, my God, my God, my God. Let's go to our chat and then we're going to close out. Coldblood says, nah, that Starfield showcase was so bad, ain't nobody hyped for it here, crickets. Yeah, it's kind of got, but Bethesda's normally quiet when they do shit up until release. Yeah, it did run at 30 frames per second there. And I think that's why I got pushed back, because I think they're trying their best to get it to 60. He says, Todd Bomber Jacket. Leave Todd alone. Todd Bomber Jacket. Howard Chess Club Dork said he likes stuff. I did hear that he said that, but I think he was making an excuse because its original target date was going to be 30 frames per second. But they can't get away. I think that's why I got pushed back. That would have killed the game. You're absolutely right. That'll kill the game. Like if PlayStation is like making strokes with the paintbrush, you know, and doing shit like, you know, like fine musical excerpts like Mozart when it comes to their games. As far as the technology and how shit looks and how it performs, if they're doing that with their in-house games and you are banking on 30 frames per second with your games on the world's most powerful console, you might as well just, and don't even make any more games. Just keep re-releasing Crackdown 3. Yeah, that'll kill you. At worst, have a 4K mode that's 60 frames per second that can meet a flat 60. That's an upscale from 1800. If it's that fucking bad, then you're gonna have to do 1400p, of course. Upscale it from 1400p. Upscale from 1400p isn't horrible, but preferably it should be an upscale from 1800p. High textures. But if you can't do high textures 1800p upscale, then it has to be high textures 1400p, and it has to be a flat 60 frames per second. Like if PlayStation could, there's no fucking excuse now Bethesda is very familiar with Xbox consoles, and they should be very familiar with the architecture. And now they're an in-house studio. Like, I'm not trying to hear that bullshit. You guys can't do that. If you guys can't do that, then don't make any more fucking games. Don't even regulate any more games, because it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. If they can't release like 1440p upscale for a flat 60 frames per second should be doomsday scenario. But if you can at least do 1800p high settings at a flat 60 frames per second. No fucking dips. No dips. This is your internal studio. Now, if y'all can't get that out the door, then Phil needs fired. Fucking Matt, what's his name? Matt Booty needs fired. Phil and Matt Booty needs fired. They are not the people that push to get the job done, or they need to be demoted. Which they don't demote people anymore. They just get rid of your ass. If they can't do that, then fuck it. You might fire them too and give the job to Major Nelson. Shit, Major Nelson and Sarah Bond. God damn. I mean, like, what the fuck? There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Starfield has to be at 18. Okay, we can deal with an 1800p upscale, high settings, flat 60. If you can't get doomsday scenario is 1440p, and then you're still going to get laughed at for that. But if you can't ship at that spec, and there should be, I mean, fuck it, if you got to do a 4K 30, like it should be a native 4K 30, ultra settings, not high, and it should be a flat 30. None of that atypical Bethesda, it drops down to 2 frames per second shit. No, this is an internal studio. This is the world's most powerful console. Anything else would be uncivilized. Nah. He said, how is Fallout looking? So, yeah, we can't have that. All right, with that said, thank you everybody for coming through. What a hell of a show. I want to apologize too. We're gonna refilm it Wednesday. I deeply apologize for the Bleach spoiler cast. For some reason, there was additional audio playing in the background. I thought I fixed it and the wonders of OBS, so I got to go fix that. So I did fix it, and we got to re-record it. So I'm gonna do it in two shows. I'm gonna do first episodes 1 through 5, and then episode 6, which I'm gonna watch either tonight or tomorrow and rate it. It'll be ready for the show on Wednesday. Okay, and like I said, that show's probably gonna be around 11 a.m. Eastern. All right. With that said, I thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate you all. Give me about 30 minutes to an hour to set, because I gotta turn on another PC and run it through that video card. Give me about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we're gonna boot up God of War. All right, until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.